Welcome back to recruitment training. I'll explain about big data environment here. Now, what is big data? You see several banks all over the world which was incorporated before 1900 or in 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. These banks may have huge volume of data. So before 1960s, 1970s, there was nothing like systems or computers, and everything was calculated using paper, or everything was written on paper. That was before the computer evolution. After the computers were invented, every company bought so many computers, and they bought big servers also at that point of time, and they stored all the data in those servers. So as the days passed by, data volume increased, and they have to store all data in those servers. When the data was more, applications were not able to pick the data from those servers quickly. See, the best example is a person can lift 100 kilograms, that is the maximum. If a person is forced to lift 300 kilograms, what will happen? Lot of strain will be there. Somehow you will try to lift it, but with lot of strain. That's what happens with big data also. So much of data is stored in the old computers. That is what it says. Big data is a term used to refer to study and applications of data sets, that is data that are too complex for traditional data processing application software. So when the servers doesn't have that capacity, and if the applications don't have that capacity, then what happens here? Data will not be able to be retrieved quickly. Now, what are the challenges here? Capturing data, data storage, data analysis, search, sharing, transfer, visualization, querying, updating, information privacy, and data source. Now, all of these things have become a problem with big data residing in the old servers and with the old application methodology. And that is where this big data environment came into picture. Now, whatever data that is stored in the old servers that are analyzed by this big data environment quickly with sophisticated applications or modern applications, whatever you say. Now, the best example to understand big data is a company has got 100 office rooms. It is interested to paint those 100 office rooms. It calls a painter, and the painter says, I can paint one office room per day. That means it takes 100 days to paint 100 rooms. Now the company decides whether they have to go with one painter or whether they have to hire 100 painters and complete the job in one day. If it is one painter, then 100 days back and forth, they have to follow with the painter, and lot of nuisance will be there. So they picked the second option, and they hired 100 painters on that particular day, and they painted all of their 100 office rooms. The same concept works with big data also. If 100 million data is available in the servers, then it becomes difficult to process that data by the servers. So what they did was they had, or they're having, 100 computers. These 100 computers are connected to those servers. They pick the data, and each computer process 1 million data. In that situation, what happens? Instead of one computer processing 100 million data, the data is split and it is given to 100 computers. 100 computers are parsing the data and providing the results back to the server, and it also sends the response to the applications by which wherever it was sent. That is what is called as big data environment in real time now. Now you can see big data was originally associated with three concepts: volume, variety, and velocity. What is volume? Huge volume of data, terabytes of data, petabytes of data, that is called as volume. Variety, what does it mean? Structured data and unstructured data, these are called as variety of big data. What is structured data? The data which is sitting in RDBMS systems with normalized concepts, that is called as structured data. Or if the data is sitting in dimensional data warehouse with OLAP technology, that is called as structured data. The data is structured and it is properly sitting in different data warehouse. But the modern time, what happens? Like everything comes with unstructured data also. The feeds that you're getting from social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, these are all unstructured data. You get bulk documents, that is also unstructured data. So these are some examples of unstructured data. When you want to analyze this unstructured data and as well as structured data, you need this big data environment so that the challenges can be eliminated. Capturing data, what does it mean? Storing the data. How to capture the data and store the data. Then becomes data analysis. How to find out the different patterns, trend found in the data. Then search the data in a quick manner. Share the data to someone or transfer the data from one application to another application. So how do you visualize the data present? What kind of business intelligence is required? So how do you change the data into information by visualization? Querying means like it's just pulling the data from the database. How to update the database? Information privacy and data. So these are the some challenges that are facing this big data, and with this big data environment you can resolve those things. From the recruiter perspective, what you must understand: first, whatever I explained you about big data, just keep it as a base. Try to find out more information from the net about big data. See who are the big players in big data. For example, you may hear Cassandra as the environment, Hive, that is the another one, then MongoDB. So you have to understand what are these things, and what big players are there, and what is the kind of environment each big player has got. So if you're able to understand the technology, the tools, skills that are associated with one big player, the same goes with the other big player also. So make a note of it, and whenever big data requirement comes, search it and find it. And that is all for the slide. Thanks. Bye.